Whispers on the red carpet. The night was glittering with flashbulbs. Reporters lined the velvet ropes outside a luxury hotel in Los Angeles, waiting for Kylie Jenner to arrive. She stepped out of a sleek black SUV wearing a silver gown that shimmered under the lights, her diamond earrings catching every flash of the cameras. But tonight, the sparkle was not enough to hide the whispers that filled the air. "Where's Timothée?" one photographer shouted, his voice sharp over the crowd. Others leaned in closer, eager for her reaction. Kylie smiled politely, but her eyes betrayed a heaviness. As if she carried secrets the cameras were desperate to uncover. For weeks, fans had noticed something strange. Kylie and Timothée had not been spotted together. No coffee runs, no late-night dinners, no stolen moments caught by paparazzi lenses. Social media exploded with speculation. Had Hollywood's favorite new couple already split? Inside the event, Kylie posed for photos, her confidence unshaken on the outside. The champagne flowed, chandeliers glittered, and celebrities exchanged air kisses. But behind the smiles, people whispered. A stylist murmured to a makeup artist, "They've been apart for weeks." "It's true." A publicist leaned toward a reporter and added, "Kylie will say something soon. She can't avoid it forever." The air buzzed with gossip. Every move Kylie made was watched. Every glance she gave was analyzed. Did her laugh seem forced? Did she look lonely without Timothée at her side? Fans online studied her every gesture, convinced they saw cracks in the fairy tale romance. Later that night, Kylie slipped into a quiet corner of the ballroom. Her phone vibrated nonstop, with notifications, sweets headlines, fan theories. She scrolled, her expression unreadable. Finally, she looked up, her face calm, as if she knew she could no longer stay silent. Rumors were swirling like wildfire. But what Kylie said next would either put the story to rest or ignite it even further. Weeks of silence, the city of Los Angeles never truly sleeps. But for Kylie Jenner, the nights had grown unusually quiet. Her once frequent dinners with Timothée Chalamet, those candlelit moments that made headlines, had faded into memory. Instead, she spent her evenings surrounded by her sisters, her children, and the constant hum of her phone. Weeks had passed, without a single sighting of the couple together. Paparazzi who once followed their every move were growing restless. They camped outside Kylie's Hidden Hills mansion, lenses trained on the driveway, waiting for the familiar black sports car that belonged to Timothée. But day after day, it never appeared. On TikTok and Instagram, fans pieced together timelines like detectives. One video went viral, a side-by-side clip of Kylie entering a fashion event alone, while Timothée was seen days later in New York, laughing with friends at a film screening. The caption read, "Are they living separate lives?" The comments section overflowed with broken heart emojis, wild theories, and heated debates. Kylie, however, kept her lips sealed. She posted photos of herself on Instagram in flawless outfits, her children playing in the background, her beauty brand promotions shining as usual. Yet the absence of Timothée from her feed was deafening. She used to post his shadow, his hands, little hints, one fan blog wrote. Now, nothing. Meanwhile, Timothée was spotted in Paris for Fashion Week. The photos of him stepping out of a luxury car in a tailored black suit sent shockwaves through fan accounts. He looked calm, collected, but alone. No Kylie on his arm. The cameras clicked, furiously, but what caught everyone's attention was the slight tiredness in his eyes. Back in Los Angeles, whispers grew louder. At a Hollywood Hills dinner party, two producers exchanged knowing glances. "They're on a break," one whispered, swirling his glass of red wine. "Trust me, I heard it from someone close." Another leaned in, shaking her head. "No, it's a PR move. They'll come back stronger. Wait and see." The speculation was no longer confined to gossip blogs. Major magazines began running headlines. Kylie Jenner and Timothée Chalamet trouble in paradise. Fashion writers questioned if Kylie was preparing for a solo era, while film critics wondered if Timothée was distancing himself before his next big project. But through it all, Kylie remained composed. Her team brushed off questions with polite smiles. At a makeup launch event, she dazzled in a rose gold dress, her every step commanding attention. Reporters called out, "Kylie, where is Timothée? Are you still together?" She paused just a moment too long before answering with silence. That silence was louder than any statement. Behind closed doors, however, she was not untouched. One evening, as she sat in her living room, the glow of her phone screen lit up her face. She scrolled through endless messages from friends and family, all asking the same thing: what happened? Her fingers hovered over her phone as if she wanted to type out a truth. But instead, she closed the app, set the phone down, and walked to the window. Outside, the flash of a paparazzi camera flickered in the distance. Like lightning waiting to strike, the world demanded answers. But was Kylie ready to speak? Or would the silence stretch into something final? The paparazzi stormed. The sun had barely risen over Los Angeles when the first black SUVs rolled into Beverly Hills. Paparazzi photographers, already armed with coffee cups and long lenses, rushed into position. For weeks, their shots of Kylie Jenner stepping out alone had fueled the rumor mill. But now, anticipation was higher than ever. Everyone wanted the one photo, the proof of either heartbreak or reunion. That morning, Kylie had a meeting at her beauty brand's headquarters. She stepped out of her car in a cream-colored trench coat, oversized sunglasses shielding her eyes. The air was cool, but the flashes were blinding, hundreds of clicks firing in rapid bursts. "Kylie, where's Timothée?" one shouted. "Have you broken up?" Another pressed. "Is it true you've been apart for weeks?" Her heels tapped against the pavement as she kept her head high, but inside, her pulse raced. For a moment she stopped, adjusting her sunglasses, and the crowd of photographers held their breath, waiting. Then she simply smiled, a calm, practiced smile, and walked inside, but that small pause was enough. By noon, blogs had exploded. "Kylie Jenner hesitates when asked about Timothée. What does it mean?" Screenshots of her smile were posted side by side with Timothée's recent photos in Paris. Fans dissected every expression, convinced her silence was an answer. Meanwhile, Timothée was spotted again, this time in a crowded New York cafe. Dressed casually in a hoodie and cap, he sipped coffee with a close friend. The photo went viral within minutes. One fan wrote, "He doesn't look like a man in love. He looks like someone carrying a secret." Another posted, "Why are they never together anymore? Just give us the truth." Social media was relentless. Hashtags like #Kylie and Timmy split and #WhereIsTimothée trended for days. Fan accounts speculated about everything from secret fights to scheduling conflicts. Some even claimed Kylie's family was pressuring her to focus on her businesses, while others believed Timothée wanted to distance himself from the Kardashian spotlight. The tension grew heavier when Kylie attended a charity gala in West Hollywood. Dressed in a velvet midnight blue gown, she looked stunning, every detail carefully styled, yet her arrival sparked chaos. Dozens of microphones were shoved toward her as questions rained down. "Kylie, is it over with Timothée? Are you going to address the split rumors tonight? Do you want to set the record straight?" The crowd's energy was overwhelming. Inside the gala, she tried to enjoy the evening, but everywhere she turned, whispers followed. Even other celebrities leaned in with sly smiles, pretending to make small talk while sneaking in questions. She laughed politely, but her eyes gave away the storm beneath. Later that night, she escaped to the balcony, the cool air brushing against her skin. From there, she could hear the muffled hum of the party inside, the laughter, the clinking glasses. Alone for a moment, she pulled out her phone. There were messages from her sisters, her manager, even her mother. All of them said the same thing: "It's time to say something." She stared at the screen, conflicted. Silence had once been her shield, but now silence was becoming the loudest headline of all. Kylie exhaled slowly, her diamond earrings catching the moonlight. Somewhere inside the gala, she could already hear a journalist telling others, "She can't keep avoiding it. She has to speak soon." And perhaps they were right, because as the night ended, Kylie knew her next move would not just be watched, it would be dissected across the world. And with every passing hour, the truth was becoming harder to hide. The family steps in. The Kardashian-Jenner empire had never been strangers to rumors, but this time, the whispers carried a weight that unsettled even the family matriarch, Kris Jenner. It was a Tuesday morning when Kris gathered Kylie at her Calabasas home, the kitchen filled with the scent of freshly brewed coffee and stacks of neatly folded newspapers on the marble counter. Every headline screamed the same thing: "Kylie and Timothée over." Kris adjusted her glasses and slid the papers toward her youngest daughter. "Darling, this is getting out of hand," she said in her calm yet commanding tone. "The longer you stay silent, the more power you give them." Kylie, dressed in an oversized hoodie and no makeup, rubbed her temples. She had built her career on controlling her image, on deciding what the world got to see, but now, the narrative was slipping through her fingers. Kendall, lounging on a nearby stool with her phone in hand, chimed in. "They're tearing you apart on TikTok, Kai. Half of them think you broke up. The other half think it's all some kind of PR stunt. You can't win unless you say something." Kylie sighed, scrolling through her own phone. The hashtags were endless, the fan theories exhausting. Her silence had once felt powerful, but now it was suffocating. That same day, in a different time zone, Timothée appeared on the streets of Paris once again. Paparazzi spotted him leaving a hotel lobby, dressed in a sleek black coat, his curls falling over his forehead. Reporters shouted questions in both English and French. "Timothée, are you and Kylie still together? Is it true you've been apart for weeks? Will you comment on the breakup rumors? He paused, glancing toward the cameras with that same thoughtful look that had made him a Hollywood darling. But instead of answering, he offered a small smile, soft, almost cryptic, before slipping into a waiting car. The moment lasted only seconds, but by evening, clips of his smile had gone viral. Headlines screamed, "Timothee's silent message. What is he hiding?" Back in Calabasas, Chris called a meeting with Kylie's PR team. The room filled with assistants, publicists, and social media strategists. Charts were displayed on screens, showing trending graphs of Kylie and Timothee's names across platforms. The numbers were staggering. One strategist leaned forward. "If we don't address this soon, the narrative will turn against Kylie. We suggest a carefully crafted statement, something that calms fans but doesn't close the door on reconciliation." Kylie listened, her arms folded. She hated feeling cornered. "But what if I'm not ready to explain?" she asked quietly. "What if it's not that simple?" The room fell silent. Chris gave her a long, knowing look. "Then we tell them just enough to control the story. Darling, you don't owe them the truth, just your version of it." That night, Kylie sat by her vanity, her reflection staring back at her under soft golden lights. Her phone buzzed with another notification. This time not from social media, but from Timothée himself. A short message appeared on her screen. "We need to talk. Don't let them decide for us." Her heart raced. For the first time in weeks, his words pierced through the noise. But what did he mean? Was he ready to fight for them? Or was he asking her to finally admit the truth? As she locked her phone and leaned back in her chair, she knew one thing for certain. The next move would not just belong to her or Timothée. It would belong to the entire world watching. The unexpected move, the pressure had reached its breaking point. 4 days. Kylie Jenner's team had worked tirelessly on a carefully worded statement. Drafts were written, rewritten, and polished to perfection. The plan was simple. She would release a short but powerful message addressing the rumors, calming her fans without revealing too much. But before Kylie could make her move, Timothée Chalamet beat her to it. It happened on a rainy Thursday evening in Paris. Timothée was attending a private screening of an indie film, an event that wasn't supposed to draw too much press. Yet, as always, paparazzi managed to slip through. When he arrived, dressed in a charcoal suit with his trademark messy curls, the cameras clicked furiously. Inside, after the screening, Timothée was invited on stage for a Q&A session. The audience expected questions about cinema, acting, and his upcoming roles. But one reporter, bold and unafraid, stood up and asked the question that had been burning in every headline. "Timothée, are you and Kylie Jenner still together?" The room fell silent. For a moment, Timothée chuckled softly, as if trying to brush it off. But then his smile faded, and his eyes grew serious. He leaned toward the microphone. "Kylie is someone I deeply respect," he said, his voice calm, but heavy with meaning. "She's incredible, but sometimes life pulls people in different directions. And that's all I'll say about that." Gasps rippled through the crowd. Journalists scribbled frantically. The clip spread across social media within minutes, fans replaying his words again and again. Some claimed it was a breakup confirmation, others argued he was being deliberately vague. One fan tweeted, "He never said the word breakup." "There's still hope," another wrote. "He basically admitted it. This is the end." Back in Los Angeles, Kylie was getting ready for a high-profile charity gala when the news reached her. Sitting in her dressing room, surrounded by stylists and makeup artists, she watched the clip play on her phone. Her reflection in the mirror was flawless, hair sleek, makeup glowing, but her eyes shimmered with emotion. "Kylie, what do you want to do?" her stylist asked gently, sensing the storm brewing inside her. For a moment, Kylie considered canceling her appearance altogether, but then something inside her shifted. She stood tall, adjusted her diamond necklace, and whispered, "No, I'm going. They'll see me shine, no matter what." That night, she arrived at the gala in a gown of deep emerald green, the fabric hugging her figure, the jewels around her neck sparkling like starlight. The moment she stepped out of her car, the paparazzi went wild. Flashes lit up the night as reporters screamed for answers. "Kylie, did you see what Timothée said? Do you have a response? Is it over between you two?" Kylie moved gracefully past them, her face unreadable. Inside, the ballroom glittered with chandeliers and champagne fountains. Celebrities mingled in sequined gowns and sharp tuxedos, but everyone's attention shifted to Kylie. She wasn't just another guest. She was the headline throughout the evening. Whispers followed her like shadows. At one point, she stepped onto the stage to present an award. As she held the microphone, the crowd hushed. She smiled warmly, her voice calm, her tone professional. Not a single word about Timothée left her lips, but as she exited the stage, One sharp-eyed journalist caught her pausing in the wings, taking a deep breath as if steadying herself. That single moment was captured on camera, and by morning, the image had gone viral. Kylie's silent response to Timothée's words, strong but heartbroken. The truth was, she wasn't ready to break, not yet. But the world was waiting, and the pressure was unbearable. And as the night drew to a close, Kylie received a message from an unlikely source, one that could change everything. Kylie breaks her silence the morning after the gala. The internet was on fire. Headlines screamed across every platform. Timothée speaks. Kylie still silent. Is this Hollywood's most glamorous breakup? Clips of Kylie's emerald gown, her composed smile, and Timothée's carefully chosen words were replayed endlessly on TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter. Fans were divided, torn between hope and heartbreak. But Kylie Jenner had made a decision. She would no longer let others speak for her. That afternoon, her team gathered at her Hidden Hills home. Phones buzzed constantly, media outlets begging for statements, talk shows preparing special segments. Kris Jenner, always the strategist, laid out the options. You can do a magazine interview, a short Instagram post, or even a video. Whatever you choose, it has to feel real. People need to hear your voice. Kylie listened, quiet but resolute. She had spent weeks in silence, letting speculation run wild. She had watched Timothée offer his carefully measured words, leaving the world guessing. Now, it was her turn. She decided on a video. No glossy edits, no scripted lines, just her sitting in her home, speaking directly to the people who had made her name echo around the world. Hours later, the video went live on her Instagram. Kylie appeared on screen in a soft white sweater. Her makeup subtle, her hair pulled back. The background was simple, just her living room with sunlight streaming through the windows. The contrast to her glamorous red carpet looks was striking. "Hi, guys," she began, her voice calm but carrying a tremor of vulnerability. "I've seen everything that's being said. I know the rumors, I know the questions, and I think it's time I say something." The world leaned closer. Millions tuned in within minutes, comments flooding the screen. "Timothée and I, we've spent some time apart," she admitted, her eyes lowering for a moment before lifting again. "Not because of drama or scandal, but because life is complicated. We're both chasing dreams, and sometimes those dreams pull us in different places." She paused, her lips pressing together as if holding back emotion. "He's someone I care about deeply. That hasn't changed, but right now we're figuring out what that means for us. And I just want people to understand, not everything is a headline. Sometimes it's just life." Her words were honest, unpolished, and raw. No rehearsed PR spin, just Kylie speaking as a woman in the spotlight, vulnerable to the world's gaze. The internet erupted instantly. Fans filled the comments with broken heart emojis, words of support, and wild theories. Some praised her for her honesty, while others demanded clarity. Was it a breakup? A pause? A reunion in the future? Meanwhile, Timothée himself posted a single photo on Instagram, a black and white shot of a cloudy sky with no caption. It was mysterious, poetic, and perfectly timed. Within minutes, fans tied it to Kylie's video, dissecting its meaning back. In Hidden Hills, Kylie sat quietly after posting, her phone buzzing endlessly. She exhaled deeply. The weight of weeks of silence finally lifted. For the first time in a long time, she felt like she had taken control of her story again. But the question remained, was this truly the end of Hollywood's most unexpected romance, or just the beginning of another chapter? The cameras were still waiting, the world was still watching. And as the sun set over Los Angeles, one thing was clear. The story of Kylie and Timothée was far from over. The end? Or is it just the beginning?